Did you know that during his 4 years with Sporting, Rúben Amorim promoted 25 academy players into the first team, and now he is at Manchester United, a football club famous for their academy. It literally is a match made in heaven for 3 players in particular in the Manchester United academy, and you guessed it, we are discussing those 3 players today. But before we get into that, if you could please subscribe to the channel, it would be greatly appreciated. By the end of the year, I would love to hit 40,000. If you could help, that would be amazing. Now let's get into the video. So we've got Rúben Amorim's 3-4-3 formation on the page here, and within this formation there are some very key positions. One of those positions is the wide centre-back roles, particularly on the left-hand side. This player is expected to be incredibly progressive. We also know that the wing-backs are incredibly important for Rúben Amorim, but also the midfield, a position I don't think has been spoken about enough. Rúben Amorim puts a lot of focus on this left-sided midfield player. So do Manchester United have players to fill these roles in the academy? Well, they certainly do. We're going to start off in the defence on the left side of defence with 16-year-old Kukonki, and I'll be honest, if you look at him and you watch him play football, you will not be able to tell that this young man is 16 years old because he is an absolute unit. He is massive, 6'4", 6'5", around that size, and he's really grown into his frame already. This guy is ridiculously big. He is an absolute unit, and the physical base that he's got there is amazing. Not only is he strong though and tall, he's also quick as well. Really quick, excellent recovery pace, and able to cover a lot of ground. That's exactly what you need on the side of a back three. Someone that can be aggressive and combative in duels, getting towards players and trying to put the tackle in, but also at times defending the channels, being drawn a little bit wider. He's excellent in these areas. What I also like about Kukonki though, is that for his size, he's really agile and got really good footwork. Now of course, perhaps not as good as the typical fullback because he is 6'4", 6'5", but considering his size, his agility is good. He is able to change direction. He is able to turn. And the evidence of that, I guess, is the fact that he has literally played left back for the Manchester United academy, but he has also played left centre back. That's why this role in the back three is sort of perfect for him. It is suited to him. It's that role between being a fullback and a centre back. It's the left-sided centre-back position. It is really ideal for Kukonki and his physical traits. What is also important though is his on-the-ball ability. How much have we spoken about the need for ball progression from the wide centre-backs? Well, this young man brings it. First of all, he's got incredible composure on the ball. This is a 16-year-old, yet he plays like a player ahead of his years. Incredibly calm under pressure. And again, that good footwork that we were speaking about earlier, that agility, helps him in possession as well. Able to sometimes turn away from the opponent and things like that. But what we are really looking at, for me here, is passing range. Kukonki is a really nice progressive passer, able to disguise a pass one way before then looking to fire a pass through the lines. What he will particularly look to do is shape the ball onto his left foot like this, as though he is going to go this way, wide with the pass. And what the opposition will therefore do is start to gamble to try and cut off that passing lane. And then at the last minute, he's going to change direction and really wrap this ball through to these positions. And actually in the 3-4-3 formation, this is an excellent method of ball progression. You see the wing back is there for that sort of decoy pass, but then we have that central progression that we can look for. And we know that Rúben Amorim likes to do this. He likes his centre-backs to play inside. And Kukonki is the perfect man for it. You can see it here, playing for the academy against Blackburn, on the ball, left-footed. These defenders are looked for anyway, to be honest. Young left-footed defenders, everyone wants them. You can see the benefit of it here. He sort of shapes as though he's going to play the ball out wide, and the Blackburn defender reacts. He starts to gamble going towards that side of the pitch. But last second, he just switches it, and he cuts the ball inside. The disguise on his pass is absolutely brilliant, and look how many players he takes out of the game with one straight ball. It's phenomenal. It's a really good progressive pass. This is almost Lisandro Martinez-esque a little bit. The actual quality on the pass is really good. We've got another example here as well. Again, a similar sort of situation. He's picked the ball up on the left side of defence, gets the ball onto his left foot, and shapes as though he's going to play wide. Once again, the Blackburn defender sort of gambles to go towards that ball. And again, Kukonki just completely does him with that sort of reverse ball through the lines, once again, taking out a lot of opposition players and getting the ball into the feet of your forward. And it allows you to progress centrally. Again, we know that Rúben Amorim wants this, so Kukonki will get a chance. Now, we do have to remember, he's only 16 years old. He's not going to be in the first team this season. Probably not next season. Maybe the season after that. But maybe the year after that, actually. He's a few years away. He's not ready just yet. There's areas that he needs work. For example, his reading of the game from a defensive point of view is by no means perfect. But again, he's 16. He's a young lad. The other concern I have is, weirdly, that he's so strong. You see, sometimes what you see when these players are much bigger than the players around them at youth level, they rely on their strength rather than technique sometimes. Now, I'm not saying Kukonki does that currently, but there is a chance that could come into his game. You see it sometimes, these big physical players, they find it easy to bully other smaller players in academy football. So then when they progress to professional football, men's football, they struggle a little bit with some of the technique. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But like I said, he's got a few years to develop. He's absolutely fine. But someday he could be the perfect channel defending, big, physical, aggressive, but also technical left centre-back that we need. So keep an eye on him. Another player that you have to keep an eye on in terms of the Manchester United Academy is Harry Amass. And you guys that have been on the channel 6 months or longer will know how much I rate this guy. I think technically, for a 17-year-old, he is a phenomenal young left-back. Very reminiscent of Luke Shaw. Yet yesterday I ruled him out of the wing-back position for the short term. And I think I want to kind of clear up my point there. My point wasn't that Harry Amass can never be a wing-back. He absolutely can, and we're going to discuss that in a minute. My point was more that currently he doesn't have the physical tenacity and intensity to get up and down the pitch for 90 minutes. He doesn't have the physical strength or ability to hold off opponents just yet. Give him 12 to 18 months and I think we could see him in the first team. I think he'll probably get minutes before then. He'll probably get opportunities. Next pre-season again, I would expect to see him quite a lot. In terms of actually breaking into the first team, I think it will be around 18 months or so. And when he does that, he's going to bring an unbelievable quality, particularly technical quality. His first touch is phenomenal at times. He has this brilliant ability to take a ball on the back foot and turn past the opposition. Not many fullbacks like to actually receive the ball on the half turn. Harry Amass is very different. He absolutely loves doing that. He loves receiving with his back to goal, and then he's going to sort of swivel past these players to move the ball forward. And it's phenomenal the way that he does it, the way that he keeps the ball so close to him. Something else he loves to do, though, is actually move inside. And this is something that I think we could see in Rúben Amorim's wing-back system. Typically, or perhaps traditionally, wing-backs fly forward and provide the width all the time. And Amorim's usually do that. I wonder if we might see a slight change at Manchester United because of the profile of inside forward that we have. Garnacho, Marcus Rashford. These players like to drift wide at times. A wing-back that can then underlap and carry the ball forward could be really valuable, and Harry Amass brings that in abundance. He is more than comfortable inverting into midfield, but also underlapping, striding forward with the ball at his feet. He is perfect for this sort of role. And what he's also got is just quality passing. Really good technical player, like I said, really reminiscent of Luke Shaw with his passing range, the way that he shapes up before he plays a pass. His short passing in particular is really nice, really clean. Some of his link play is brilliant. But in terms of what really makes him stand out for an eventual wing-back position is his ability to overlap and get into the final third. He is excellent in these positions. Once in the final third, he's got a brilliant cross on him, but not just that, he makes good decisions. And that is something that United actually lack a little bit in the final third, particularly from wide areas. Our crosses are quite repetitive and we rarely actually find our man. Amass doesn't tend to have that problem. Once in the final third, he makes excellent decisions. In these sorts of positions, he stands up the opposition fullback. He is patient with the ball initially. He's really calm, really confident with the ball at his feet. He's waiting for his opponent to make the move, and then he's going to knock the ball past him. Quick change of direction and a quick burst forward into this position. But it's in the quality of delivery is just phenomenal. This is really whipped in towards the back post, but it dips just at the perfect moment for his teammate to attack it. And the ball is put into the back of the net because of the quality of delivery from Amass. But like I said, there is variation in the way that he plays. It's not just a cross every time. In a situation like this, again, racing forward into the final third, this is like a wing-back, right? Not a full-back. This is a wing-back pushing forward into the attack, providing the width, striding past that last line, taking the ball on, getting into these positions, but importantly, having an ability to get his head up. You know, he's not just flashing across into anywhere, he's actually getting his head up and taking a look at where his teammates are. And that means that when he eventually gets into the position, he is able to play the right ball. He recognises that no one is actually around the penalty spot, so it would be useless for him to flash it across the box. Instead, he cuts it back towards the edge, and it's a brilliant find in the end, finds his teammate on the far side. Again, that decision making is something that United need. In terms of weaknesses, does Amass have any? Yeah, he has a couple. Again, this is a really young man, just 17 years old. Of course he has weaknesses in his game. I think the big concern is defensive awareness and, more than anything, defensive concentration. When I've seen him, I went and watched him live for a game. Concentration in terms of following runners and things like that was my main concern. And of course, at top level football, you're not going to get away with that. Although the back three system does give him a bit more help because of the extra support from the centre back. And then the other concern I would have is again just a physicality thing where at times, because he's a smaller player, he's not comfortable using his upper body. And again, I think in senior football, you have to use your arms to keep people away from you. You can't sort of smother the ball so much. I think you really have to use your upper body. So I think Harry Amass needs to develop there a little bit. But again, a wonderful talent. And if you haven't already watched him, go watch him because he is so good. And he's probably the one that I'm the most excited about. Now, the last position that I want to talk about is this sort of connecting midfield role. And you will see that I've gone for Sekou Kone, the 18-year-old midfielder that we actually signed in the summer. Made his under-21s debut last night. I've watched a fair bit of footage of him. And people might be a little bit surprised by the position that I've got him in. I think a lot of people view him as a 6, a defensive midfielder, someone who would perhaps play this deeper role. I actually see him as more of a connecting midfielder. And the reason for that is because I think technically he is so good on the ball and so good at progressing the ball and evading challenges and carrying the ball forward that you almost restrict him too much and you restrict his skill set too much if you play him in a deeper position. In this role where he connects defense to attack, I think there's a really nice player here. So what are we looking at with Sekou Kone? What is his skill set? Tight touches on the ball. Technically really strong and usually really clean. Last night he did make a couple of mistakes and eventually got injured, which was really disappointing for him on his first start. But you know, that was his first start. He's going to be okay. Technically, really nice on the ball, really clean, tight first touches. He keeps the ball really close to his body. And 9 times out of 10, if you notice that the ball is further away from his body, that is actually part of the plan, and he's trying to draw an opposition player in before then quickly changing direction. He's got relatively long legs, which allows him to quickly poke the ball away from the opposition to then move in a different direction. And he uses this really effectively, combined with shimmies and sort of shoulder drops, particularly when facing the play. If he gets the ball in this sort of position here, for example, and someone's closing him down, he has a brilliant ability to drop a shoulder, quickly change direction, and completely throw the opponent off balance, and then he's going to carry the ball forward. And we're not talking about necessarily a driving force here, I wouldn't say. It's more of a gliding motion past these players. He kind of just eases his way past them and makes it look quite easy at times. That's why I don't think he's a 6 for me personally. He's just so good at carrying the ball forward that I think he should be given the freedom to do exactly that, carry the ball forward. What I also like about Kone though is that he also uses passing as well. Some midfielders are very dribble orientated. Some midfielders are very pass orientated. Sekou Kone seems to have the blend of both, and that's a really good thing for Manchester United. And it's great for him as a player. It means for his career, there will be a lot of different things that he can do. Technically and tactically, he will be able to form a lot of different roles. But I think that kind of deception with the way that he plays, and then the progressive passing combined with it, plus the fact that defensively he does a lot of good work, puts in a lot of slide tackles, again using those long legs, I think it makes it perfect. It makes him perfect, I should say, for that connecting role in the middle. We actually got a couple of nice examples of this from his brief cameo last night. You can see it in these sorts of positions here. He's picked up the ball and the first thing he's doing is using his upper body to keep the opponent away. But you will also see he's got another player coming towards him. And it's just these little touches like this. Subtle little touches like this which just take the ball away from the opposition. He is so good at gliding through these positions. Like I said, this isn't a power situation, a situation where he's powerfully driving through midfield. It is the art of small touches. At the last second again here, the opponent comes towards him, but he takes that touch with his left foot to move the ball away. And I think that's important as well. The ability to dribble with both feet really helps you out in midfield. And what I liked also was the decision at the end of it. He then knows to make the pass, to move the ball onto a teammate. He could have been greedy here and tried to carry on carrying the ball forward. In terms of carrying the ball forward, that's the wrong clip. Situations like this, he was really impressive. Again, under a lot of pressure, facing his own goal. You can't even see him here, but he drops the shoulder brilliantly. He uses body. You've got to remember, this is against senior players because of the competition it was in. Drops the shoulder really nicely and just spins the guy, completely does him. Then uses that physical contact here, carries the ball forward, and then again, at the end of it, he's got a really nice pass. He shapes the ball through here and takes 3 opposition players out of the game. And this is something that he done a few times in the first 40 minutes of the game. Here he's a little bit more patient. And what he does is he takes this little touch and he gives off this really relaxed body language, like he's kind of just let the ball go loose a little bit. And the opposition player kind of takes that as a trigger as, I might be able to go nick that ball off him, you know. I'm going to go press him. And that's exactly what Kone wants. He is waiting for that pressure, because then at the last moment, he kind of changes direction. He takes the touch forward with the right foot here, has drawn the player in, and then again, at the end of that, it's that progressive pass through the lines. And that's what I really like about his game and his potential kind of fit for this role, is the ability to change the pace of the game, change the tempo. In terms of weaknesses, again, he's 18 years old. He does have weaknesses to his game. The big one for me is actually that he doesn't demand the ball enough. He is so good on the ball that I want to see him get the ball more. There are positions when his midfield partner will have it, and I just want him to go show for the ball and really scream for it, really ask for that ball in midfield, demand the ball. He doesn't really do that, and as a result, there can be moments where he drifts through games a little bit. He doesn't really sort of grab a game. That's the next thing that he needs to do for me. Now, perhaps that's a confidence thing. Perhaps that is a young player settling in a new environment. He needs time to kind of grow into himself a little bit in terms of his personality and wanting to kind of showcase his skill set on the ball. That will come with time, I'm sure. If he can do that, there is potentially a really nice complete midfielder here. And again, sort of perfect for that linking role from defence to the attack. And you can see, generally speaking, Rúben Amorim has the luxury of a really nice Manchester United academy. Not just these three players, there are a load of others as well, which could suit the 3-4-3 really nicely. And I think this formation, because of the nature of the shape, I think it will give our academy even more chances to break into the first team. And I mean, that's just music to the ears of Manchester United fans, right? That's exactly what we want. So I am confident that Rúben Amorim will use these young players, and that a lot of these young players will shine and will do well. So I'm looking forward to it. Hope you guys are as well. If you are, let me know which players excite you in the comments down below. Which ones are you looking at? Perhaps it's someone I've mentioned today, or maybe someone different. Let me know what you think in the comments. But apart from that, we are finished for today. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you have enjoyed it. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.